If we have fear coming up, something's not going to be right. A result, I don't care if you're talking about an exam, or you're talking about a wife, or you're talking about a child, whatever it may be, there's a fear or something that comes up. Ask yourself the question: have you ever been in a fearful position before? Have you ever been in a vulnerable position before? Have you ever been in a position where you were not able to control something? And if you answer yes, like most adults can, did you get through it? Did you get through it? Shalom, peace. It's Coach Nazir, one of the authors of Let's Talk Polygyny Uncensored, as well as one of the co-founders of Outstanding Personal Relationships. Now, I'm known, of course, as the coach that helps men get their shit together. And here's a secret. I guess it's not really a secret. Everybody, here's the secret. Here's the thing. Nah, I'm not that guy. But when I learned this one lesson, it changed my life for the better. So I'm going to share it with you. It's called self-control. Self-control. Now we hear it, we might have an idea of what that means, or to restrain ourselves, or restrict ourselves, or to go forward when we need to go forward. But I want to talk a little bit deeper about that. Neuroscience, first of all, the study of the brain and how it interacts and everything else is amazing. It's going to say mind-blowing, no pun intended. But neuroscience is really on a whole other level. And we've learned that by the time you're 25 years old is when the prefrontal cortex of your brain, which is in charge of giving you decision-making power, where you can pause when something happens versus just being immediately reactive. We can pause, think about something, and make a good decision, right? Or in people who have damaged prefrontal cortexes, whether it's from accidents or falling or what have you, don't really have that same ability. So with that being said, self-control, the ability to think and again, make the right decision. Sounds a lot like self-discipline, but here's what I mean. We are all emotional beings. We all release different chemicals, all right, whether it's the dopamine chemical, we're getting pleasure, or oxytocin, or this angel's cocktail of things, or we also release negative stuff. All right, all throughout ourselves, all throughout the day, based upon just how we think. So we could be stressed out about something nonstop or have this anxiety while simultaneously increasing our cortisol levels. But here's self-control. Self-control is the ability to say, you know what? I'm a little nervous about this. I feel this. This doesn't feel good to me. It could be a feeling of fear. Now, as I'm speaking with you right now, I'm looking at a camera. You're not sitting here with me right now. But I do understand that the number one fear in the U.S. is the fear of public speaking. Public speaking. Now, I understand it. First of all, I'm an introvert. So I fully understand it. But I had a mentor that believed more in me than I believed in myself. Right? So if public speaking is the number one fear, how do you get over something like that? Or should you even try to? Now, I don't know whether or not you want to do public speaking, talk in front of people, help anybody, anything like that. I just knew one of my desires was to leave a legacy, empower other people, to share information, empower my children more than anything. And I know that I have the opportunity my parents and grandparents didn't have. My children will be amongst the first generation that will be able to see their parents and grandparents and great-great-grandparents, all this type of stuff, being me and my wives, generations from now. All right, they can see who they look like. They can see me before I had some of the gray hair. All right, they can see me young, if you will, before being a granddad, grandfather, great-grand, all that type of stuff, if I make it that long, right? So I wanted to do that, but in order to do that, I had to kind of get good. So I had to borrow somebody else's belief in me. So my mentor said, look, Nazir, and I was doing a home-based business at the time. We were doing presentations and stuff. I was mainly just a participant. I'm in the front row taking notes and having some good success and everything. And he said, listen, you know what? You have to introduce me. This is how this cycle goes. We help you. You start in the back of the room. Nobody really knows you. You move yourself to the front of the room. You're having success. And then you get actually in the front of the room and address the room. Now, look, I'm light-skinned. It's wintertime. So I didn't have much melanin from the sun and tan and stuff, right? So he told me that I turned red. Well, turned pink a little bit, right? Pinkish. And then So as I did that, he said, can you handle that? I'm not going to tell my mentor no. So I did. I handled it. It should have taken me 2 minutes. It took me about 12 seconds. And I was done. I was nervous. But what happened then is my nervousness, and he kept doing it, kept making me do it, kept stretching me. See, once you're in personal growth, like what you're doing right now, this is a part of personal growth. It's like a rubber band. You can take a brand new rubber band, you can stretch it. It's not going to go back to its former self, being brand new, never being stretched. And you can stretch it, stretch it, stretch it until it comes back. But it'll still be a little loose compared to where it was initially. That's kind of how your brain does. So the more you grow and the more you feel, the more comfortable you can become. So that doesn't mean I don't get nervous in front of a camera, or I might mess up saying my name and I'll start over again and everything, or just like, oh man, we need to redo it. But self-control is the ability to recognize that these feelings that come when that cortisol level raises is to say, you know what? One of the things we do is take 6 deep breaths. So you inhale. That's 1. You do it 5 more times, and you're naturally decreasing the amount of cortisol that's running around in your veins that's causing this anxiety, that's causing you to feel to be on edge. So you can take it where you get nervous, you're about to go in front of a crowd, or you're about to go talk to your father-in-law, your mother-in-law, or your children about something that you're concerned about. And you can say, you know what, these butterflies, this feeling, this is normal, it's natural. I'm human, they're human. And I have the ability, the power to do something about it. So I'm going to speak to him. I'm going to trudge through it at first, because the first time you do something usually is the worst time. You remember the first time you tried to walk? Of course you don't. But you did it, despite falling probably hundreds or thousands of times. So let me ask you, how long will you give your child, your baby, how long will you give them to learn how to walk? What if they're not walking by 12 months? You say, you know what? Forget it. You never learn. I'm just going to carry you for the rest of your life. Is that it? You give them until. So we must be merciful to ourselves to give us our until. But if we have fear coming up, something's not going to be right. A result, I don't care if you're talking about an exam, or you're talking about a wife, or you're talking about a child, whatever it may be, there's a fear or something that comes up. Ask yourself the question. Have you ever been in a fearful position before? Have you ever been in a vulnerable position before? Have you ever been in a position where you were not able to control something? And if you answer yes, like most adults can, did you get through it? Did you get through it? Another piece of advice I was given was, this too shall pass. And I know where that comes from scripturally. This too shall pass. So really, no matter the biggest challenges you face right now, you know you're going to pass it. It's just a moment in time. So let's not blow things up so big, because we have control of that. Where the sky is falling, all the stuff is coming down, we make it a huge tragedy. Or don't we make it too small? We have that power. That's self-control. So whether or not I decide to indulge in this decadent chocolate cake, when I know I shouldn't be doing it, maybe I'm a diabetic. Maybe I know better. Maybe I'm allergic to it. But I have an EpiPen in the car or something, right? Do I gamble and take that chance? Or maybe it's I need to take advantage of this investment. Stuff is going, it's green candles. Let me go ahead and chase this investment. Everybody's already in now. I'm getting in at the top, but stuff comes back down and lose money. Self-control. Having that ability to make that decision that's best for the circumstances in the family. That's what separates men. That's what separates women of value from those who don't. That's what separates those who have discipline from those who don't. But self-control means you have that power even if you can't control the external circumstances. You can control this. You control how you feel. You can control how you think. You can determine whether or not that fear is going to be like, yo, I'm having another chance. This is good. I'm going to take these butterflies and I'm going to shine. Or I'm scared. I'm just nervous. I'm going to fold. Why not go for the best? Instead of saying, what happens if I fail? Am I being embarrassed? Ask yourself, what happens if I succeed? I empower others. It's not easy to get in front of you and be transparent and talk about our failures and our struggles and our challenges. But it's worth it. We're all human. So utilize the control that you have to strive for the best. And know that you're going to fail. You're going to fail. The great part, as long as you get the lesson from the failure, you'll learn a lot more from your failures than your successes. But strive for success. With that, remember, wish changes nothing, but a decision changes everything. Exert self-control daily. I'm out. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.
We are also the authors of the new eBook, The Polygamy Roadmap. 2 different roadmaps, one specifically for men and the other
for women.
Naturally. So no matter where somebody is in their journey, whether they're considering it and what's required, especially men I'm talking to, I share the 5 requisites on really what it takes to build a healthy, successful polygynous family unit. So with that being said, make sure if you're a man and if you're serious, not just curious, you take action and get it today.
And in the women's polygamy roadmap, we talk about the different feelings that women might go through with emotions of fear, challenge, betrayal, jealousy.
Yes, and we give you some good insight as well as tips, anecdotes, as well as some of our stories of struggle in the polygamy roadmap too for women. And you will find out really how to have a type of confidence in yourself after reading this. I'm truly, truly in the mindset that you would anyway.
Indeed. So do what you got to do. And that means go to polygamyroadmap.com, grab your copy. We look forward to you benefiting from it and joining us in our private community. With that being said, Assalamu alaikum.
Peace.